in. So we are doing a multi-stream interview broadcast today.
Fancy.
Cool. So welcome, Megan.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here with you, Gavin. You're such a good friend and you're always so encouraging. And it's been a pleasure to be a part of your journey. So to be here live together is like a magical moment that we've been waiting for so long. Why is it taking us so long?
I don't know. The technology is here now, so we can do it.
It is. Yes, it is.
So thank you for being here today. I'm looking at two cameras here, by the way. So if everybody just wants to give us a like or a thumbs up in the chat, let us know where you're from. Now, me and Megan, we've known each other for quite a few years, and I've seen a lot of Megan's journey here over that time and her growth and development, and it's really beautiful to see that. So congratulations, Megan, on that.
Thank you. And you have always been so good at like letting me know that. I always get a message here and there from Gavin being like, "You're doing awesome, Megan. It's been such a joy to watch, and you've always been such an encouragement. So thank you for that."
No problem. So tell me, Megan, the topic here for today is how to manifest your desires effortlessly. So if you could just tell us a bit about how you got into this, why you're doing this, what's it all about, what it means to you, and yeah, what is manifestation?
Those are some very wonderful and loaded questions. I'll best answer them to the best of my ability. But first off, what got me into this? So I was one of those people from a child that just seemed to always get what I wanted. And I grew up in like a Christian background, and the languages that was used back then was like, "You're anointed. You have the gift of faith. You have all these things." And I would, and I remember my friend sitting down, she's like, "Megan, you just always get what you want." And I had no framework for that. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know what I was doing different than anybody else. But I did. And I would get an idea and I would move towards it and it would happen. And lots of other people would be trying to do stuff and it wouldn't work for them. And my results were up and down. It wasn't like this was consistent for me. Some stuff would be awesome. Like I manifested a nearly impossible situation to the man that I got married to, like trips, money, experiences, all these kinds of things. My kids, I wanted a boy and a girl, and I wanted them 3 years apart. And I have a boy and a girl that are 3 years apart. Like seriously, everything. I just would get what I wanted. So it was only probably about, I'm going to say now 5-ish years ago, that I was a stay-at-home mom. And I was not feeling fulfilled and satisfied in what I was doing I was doing some freelance graphic design. It was not exciting for me. And I was also really, really into health. And I got introduced to a network marketing company. And what happened was that company sent out a video of Bob Proctor talking about paradigms and all this. And my mind just went, I was like, wow. And and so I just dove into that world. And this was new to me. I hadn't been introduced to this information. I never had anybody explain to me, what is faith? What is the law of attraction? What is all this? And I'm a bit obsessive, so I just studied like crazy. And I finally had tools and language to explain what I had been doing before, how I was manifesting in that process. And then, of course, I'm a teacher at heart. I love to teach. I love to coach and work with these sorts of things. So then I began working with my network marketing team. I would sell products and teach and coach on the backside of it. And then eventually I just went into full-time teaching, coaching, doing energy work, that kind of thing. So that's, in a nutshell, that journey for me.
So it's a multifaceted, kind of in well, how would you call it? Calling, purpose for you now, Megan, would you say?
Yeah.
So I do want to ask you, what is manifestation?
Right. That was the other question. So manifestation, this word can get all people all tied up in knots. For some, they like feel resistance toward it. They think it's weird or woo-woo, some magical airy fairy thing.
Way, by the way.
I kind of remember that. Yeah. But honestly, manifestation, if you get hung up on that word, just replace it with materialization. It's really just taking something from a thought or an idea to physical form or to its fullness I have the idea that I want to make a hamburger for dinner. So that's the idea. You're manifesting all day long, every day, all the time. This is something you don't turn off. Manifestation is creation. So this is the one area we don't have free will. But when you don't understand this process that's happening all the time, then a lot of people are creating and manifesting what they don't want. But you are doing it all the time. You don't turn it off. So the idea, you have the thought, then you're like, okay, I'm aligned with it. I'm having this burger for dinner. And then you might have to go to the grocery store and buy the ingredients, or go to the restaurant. You make the plans, you take the actions, and then lo and behold, you have a burger sitting in front of you, and you've manifested that burger. It's not rocket science. It's just that we think it's way easier to manifest a burger than it is to manifest $1 million or a mansion or a business or whatever. But it's not.
So is there anything magical or mystical in it?
Well, that depends on your perspective. Because science shows us how this works. If you start digging into quantum physics at all, and how particles move depending on how we observe them and how our intention for them, they actually change and reshape and reorganize themselves depending on how we observe them and what we're expecting. So, but if you don't have that understanding, it seems very mystical and magical. How does it work that my thoughts and my intention cause the stuff that's all around us to form into things? Because that is what's happening. But there is science to explain it, and quantum physics is beginning to give us the understanding of how this works. But from the forefront, it does seem very magical and mystical.
So I love the notion that everything happens by law, even if we don't necessarily know what all the laws are or how they operate. So what I'm hearing from you, Megan, is sort of like some of this is being revealed, possibly.
Yeah, definitely. So there's laws at work, just like we have physical laws. There's the law of gravity. For many, 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 many years, people didn't call it the law of gravity. They didn't know. They didn't understand that there was this law, how things operated. Why did the tree fall, or why did the apple fall down? Why, when I jump off a building, do I fall to the ground? These kinds of things. We didn't know about this law. But then it was discovered, it was labeled, but it was there all along. Just because you don't know about the law or understand it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So we have our physical laws that now most people are familiar with, law of lift, stuff like that. But we have these energetic laws as well, which most people are familiar with, is the law of attraction, like attracts like. But there's also many others. There's the law of giving, receiving. Like when you give, it comes back to you. There's the law of opposites. For every up, there's a down. There's the law of vibration, which is a primary law, and that states that everything vibrates. We live in an ocean of motion. And this is a very important law to understand, to actually really understand the law of attraction, which is the secondary law, which will then make manifestation so much more graspable for those who need more structure, instead of just being able to because some people have that ability just to hear an idea and accept it without proof, without a deeper understanding, and then they can just go forward. And those are the individuals who things just work for them, and they're able just to go forward because it really comes down to us knowing something and being it for it to be our reality. So for those that can just do that quickly, off they are to the races. But there's most people, we need to unpack it a bit more so that we can really sink our teeth into it and believe and be like, okay, yes, this is true. I believe it. I know it, because that knowingness is essential in order to create your reality the way you want to.
The knowing.
So
how do you find that knowing, build that knowing? What is the process there? How do you get that when you don't have it?
Well, first off, you're going to have to do a bit of study, I would say, and be open to some new teachers, some new ways of thinking, and learning, taking down that structure of belief that you're holding on so much to, that we think is so real. Like, we're so convinced that the more money you spend, the less you have. But that is just a belief. And we can think that's fact. It's not fact. It is a belief. But because you believe it as true, that is your result. So the first step is to start to realize that you are operating out of a belief system that isn't true for the most part, isn't actual. Like, the laws are our truth, but all this other stuff, which is cultural, religious, your family's culture, it's belief systems that you can hold on to if you want to, but they actually aren't true. But they are true for you in your reality because that's how you're living your life through that system. So the first step is to be aware of that. So then you can kind of step outside of it and be like, okay, this is a belief system that's here. And I actually don't like the results that this belief system is giving me. So let me check out some other stuff and then explore and expand your awareness and just kick it around a little bit. You don't have to accept it. Even if you study it and learn about it, you don't have to accept it if you don't like it. Then as you go through and listen, I would say listen to people like Dr. Joe Dispenza and Abraham Hicks and Bob Proctor, and read some books like The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard and The Science of Getting Rich. Like, I know I'm just like spewing a bunch of these out here, but this will start to open the mind to what's going on. Follow me on social media.
Follow Megan.
Because I
do this every week. You teach people how to do this every week in your Facebook Lives.
I do my Manifestation Monday. Actually, I did it just before I got on with you every day. So, and I teach and I break this stuff down. I have a very kind of quick and clean and simple breakdown of how manifestation works, so that if you don't want to study all the stuff and you just want to like go through and listen to that, then you can do that. And I talk about vibration and frequency and all these sorts of things in order to really understand that shift that needs to happen in order to get the things that you want. Does that answer your question? I'm not going deep into it. If you want me to, I can, and I can explain manifestation, but we might not be able to do that here on this call. I'm not sure.
That's okay. So one thing I heard there, Megan, was that, some people can come up with an idea and just move into action on it and create it in their world. Mm-hmm. And other people might be struggling to do that. Yeah. And even in the last few weeks, I've been hearing so many stories of people that have been visualizing for years on the couch and nothing's been happening to them. So what's like a blockage for some people, I guess?
Okay. So if you're cool, I'm going to teach for a bit.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Let's have it. Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. You just interrupt me anytime if I'm going too crazy or something like that. But I don't feel I can give a good enough answer by just like touching on some stuff. So okay. I'm going to teach for a bit and then you cut me off if you need to.
Okay.
This is actually why I got into what I'm doing now. Like, I work one-on-one with people and I remove blocks from the unconscious mind that really hold people back, is because I watched, when you do get into the self-development world, I see it everywhere where there's people that are doing their affirmations every day. They got their vision boards up, they're visualizing, they're doing all the right things, but they're doing them in the wrong way. And then there's other things going on underneath the surface that's then inhibiting their results. So it's like putting a Band-Aid. It's like putting a Band-Aid, like you're bleeding, like you have internal bleeding, and then you have a little scratch over here and you put the Band-Aid on and think that all the internal bleeding, it's going to fix it. And it's not. There's all this stuff going on underneath the surface. And it's so sad because then people blame themselves and they're like, well, what's wrong with me? Why is it working for them and not me? Or I'm trying so hard and I'm doing all this stuff, but I just keep failing. I just keep hitting up against a wall. Why isn't my vision board coming true? Why isn't my affirmations coming true? All these kinds of things. And then we beat ourselves up, which is even then again perpetuating the problem of why it's not working. So here's where the teaching part comes in. When we set a goal and when we have something that we want it for a feeling that it's going to give us. Why does this matter? So like I said before, the primary law that really needs to be understood is the law of vibration. So when we zoom into everything, whether it's your body, your desk, your phone, your whatever, everything's made up of atoms, which are made up of protons, neutrons, electrons, which are energy. We are all made up of energy, and it's vibrating at different frequencies, on different at different speeds, different wavelengths, all these different things. Color is vibration. Sound is vibration. Emotion is vibration. Feeling is the word that we invented to describe the conscious awareness of the vibration that we are in. When you feel bad, you're in a low vibration. This is a dense, heavy frequency. When you feel good, you're in a high vibration. You're feeling, that's why everybody's like, practice gratitude. But make sure you're actually feeling the gratitude. But do that because it helps you feel really, really good. It raises your vibration. So what we're all doing here, everything that I teach, and that it all is supporting this one thing, and that comes down to the vibration. It comes down to the frequency. So if you want to attract and create things in your life, what you need to be working with is vibration. That's the language of the universe. It is a very different thing to sit there and visualize a car and the color and all that kind of stuff, and then to feel like the person that has the car. And that's where we lose people, because we're not tapping into that frequency that having that car is on. So we set a goal, say we want to make a bunch of money, and we set that goal because first off, if you ask yourself, why do I have this goal? You're going to get some surface answers. So that's fine. Work through the surface answers. But it's like, okay, I want this money because I want to be able to quit my job, or I want to be able to travel more, or I want that car or that house. Okay, so there's our surface answers. Then you ask yourself again, why do I want the car? Why do I want the house? Well, it'll be so fun to do this. Well, why do you want to have fun? Well, because it feels exciting. And well, why do you want to be? Because I want to be happy. Really, it all comes down to, we all want to be happy. We want to feel happy. We want to feel joy. We want to feel peace. We're all searching for that. We're all like looking, how do I feel good? Where's that next good feeling? That's what drug addicts are doing. They're just trying to escape and get that good feeling. Let me get a grasp of that feeling good. So think about your goal and think about, how will I feel by having that goal? Google emotion wheel. If you're not super familiar with all these kinds of emotions, Google that and look, and then start to get familiar with these different emotions and these feelings. Most people aren't going to set a goal to feel stressed and frustrated and anxious. They're going to set a goal to feel successful, peaceful, happy, alive, safe, secure, all these kinds of things. That feeling is the frequency. That's the vibration.
The feeling is the frequency.
Yes. So when you can feel that, you are tuned into that, where your goal is vibrating. So if that goal of money for you feels success, peace, and joy and gratitude, then that is that frequency. That's the vibration. That's a high vibration. So you must get yourself on that frequency. So the reason that your affirmations and your vision boards and your goals aren't happening is because you're sitting there saying, I am rich, but you are feeling the lack of the money. You are feeling stressed and anxious and in a low vibration because you don't see it with your physical eyes in front of you. So you feel that when's it going to come? If you had the million, you wouldn't be thinking, when is it happening? When is it coming? Why isn't it working for me? That wouldn't be your energy. You wouldn't be feeling that. You wouldn't be that frequency. You would be feeling, I'm so successful. Things are working so wonderful. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Everything's going so well for me. I'm so blessed. Look at all this amazing thing that's happening in my life. Like, this would be the feeling that you're having. This is then what has to occur for these goals and the things to manifest and to happen in our lives. We have to shift that vibration. So if your visualization and your affirmations and all the stuff you're doing isn't shifting your feeling is a secret. Neville Goddard said it. There's a little book on YouTube, Feeling is a Secret. You can watch it. It's like 20 minutes or something, 40 minutes. If it's not shifting how you feel, you're wasting your time. What good is it for me to sit down and write down my affirmation 300 times with my left hand if the whole time I'm feeling like, this is stupid and I don't want to do it and I'm so annoyed and when is this going to be over? Like, what's the point? You're better off just not doing it. You're better off going for a walk in the park and enjoying nature because it makes you feel good and it raises your vibration closer to where that goal is existing for you than it is to hammer out affirmations.
So I'm hearing here, Megan, that we almost need to consciously get ourselves there.
Yeah,
if we need to.
We have tools and things that we can do to help ourselves raise our vibration to that feeling place. There's a process to it. Like, so our soul, our higher self, is naturally vibrating at a very high place. Like, it's naturally a very vibrational thing. But we have our ego, our thoughts, our emotions, which we are not those things. We are not our ego, we're not our body, we're not our thoughts, emotions, but they are going on, and it's like a weight. It's like a weight that pulls down that vibration. So really the first step, and this is the first step in my course, I call it clearing the mental pond, is that we actually need to do the process of raising your vibration has less to do with doing things and adding things into your life, and more to do with letting go of grudges and bitterness and fear and anxiety. Like, just let it go, letting go of like doubt and worry and fear and all these kinds of things, which are very low vibration energy. And the more we let that go, we just naturally, like a cork going up to the top of the water that's no longer weighed down by all this heaviness, is just going to go up naturally. And then this is when manifestation becomes effortless, is when you're in these higher vibrational places. You attract all the things, because the law of attraction is always at work. You attract what you are, not what you want. So what are you? Are you happy, peaceful, joyful, grateful? All these things. So therefore you attract the stuff that makes you feel more and more of that. But if you are operating in stress, anxiety, lack, limitation, fear, you attract more and more of the things that create more of those feelings. If you're feeling it's not working for me, you attract more of it's not working for me. And that is why that's really what's going on for people that are not able to achieve their goals. And then we have all the ways to support individuals in that process. You can get in there, you can do hypnosis, you can, for me, I clear trapped emotions that you're holding in your body, like remember emotions are vibration. So you can have trapped emotions in your intestines, in your head, in your feet, and all over the place in your body, but all the way back from like birth, even from previous lifetimes coming in. When we release that trapped energy that's vibrating, sending out the signal of fear, anxiety, rejection, all that, that's no longer in your energetic system. Therefore, you're no longer creating that over and over in your life. And then you see, wow, things start to actually work for me. And it becomes much more effortless. And you move from force into power.
Where does action fit into this?
So then, the steps of manifestation, again, I encourage you won't hear this from most people, but first is that clearing the mental pond place. So we want to do the healing, which is an ongoing process, but we can really tackle it, a good chunk of it, even in a matter of a few weeks, where we let go a lot of stuff, like low vibrational stuff. Then there is setting that intention. What is it that I really want? What do I want? And then there's the alignment piece, which I've talked about already, which is that feel as if you already have it, feel really grateful and peaceful and all those kinds of things. Where is that goal vibrating for you? Get in alignment with it. Then comes the inspired action. And another reason that people struggle so much is they don't do the alignment piece and they go right to the action, or they don't do action at all. So those two things.
So they're doing one or the other.
Yes. So we see people that are burnt out and working super hard and trying every company and every way of making money and keep hitting walls all the time. That's like haphazard action. And it's not aligned. You haven't done the alignment piece. You're missing that, which is honestly, it's just being happy. Happiness is alignment. Okay.
Top tip from Megan. Great insight there. Thank you, Megan.
Just be happy.
The simplicity.
Do what feels good. Do what makes you happy. It's so uncomplicated, but we always want things to be complicated. So hence we make courses about it and explain it. But honestly, if you could just do what makes you feel good and be happy, all this stuff will fall in place to you. But that's too simple. Anywho, so you do the alignment piece. Then what's going to happen is, and meditation is absolutely crucial for this. Gavin and I meditate together all the time.
We do.
This is where we are beginning to see and hear and connect with that higher self, with the self, the us, the true me, the I am that has existed before this lifetime and will continue to exist after this lifetime. That is the witness that's like observes the thoughts and observes the ego and isn't immersed in it. And this inspired action, that higher self is going to be like, oh, go here. And then you'll be in the shower and you'll be like, oh, I should go over there and do that thing. And it can be something so simple, like instead of making my smoothie in the kitchen today, I'm going to go down to the smoothie shop and buy a smoothie. Just an idea, and it comes to you. And you take action on this, on this inspiration. And then lo and behold, you go buy the smoothie and you meet the person in the line that is going to help you go to that next step. So this is the kind of the part that seems quite magical. is where, and the coincidences and the synchronicities happen where you just run into the right person, or you look over at the magazine that gives you the answer and the title of the cover. Like, these things begin happening for you, but you have to take that action. But when it's inspired, when you're coming from a place of alignment, you're going to have to take way less. You're not going to have to take so much action, but the action that you do take is going to be so much more powerful and yield such greater results for you. So when you're not aligned, and when you're just taking action for the sake of doing it, your journey is kind of like this. So here's the idea, here's the goal, and your journey is like this. You're going backwards and forwards, you're going all the place. Once you get in alignment and you're doing these powerful first steps, the journey begins to kind of be a little bit more like this. Like, it's not so crazy, and you're going to save yourself a lot of money, time, energy, mistakes, all this kind of stuff, so you can get that clear guidance and direction towards your goals and what it is that you want to create. So that inspired action is essential. Like, that's how, when we take that action, that's the vehicle that the universe brings the things that we desire into our lives. It doesn't have to be hard and terrible and tortureful. If you're aligned, it'll be fun. You'll like to take the action, and it will be exciting and bring you joy.
Thank you, Megan. So if there's anyone's got any questions for Megan here for our last 5 minutes together here, so please put them in the chat. Megan's happy to answer your questions.
I would love to do that. I would love to answer questions. I'm seeing lots of lovely things here from Marley O'Nair. I haven't caught everything you said, but you're having a lot of beautiful things to say. I know that for sure. Wow, yes.
So yeah, if anybody wants to send any questions for Megan, she's happy to answer those here now on the call. So the inspired action, is that like the final piece then, Megan?
No, there's one more piece, and that is detachment. And this is kind of puts the ribbon on the alignment piece, because we get into the feeling of it, we feel really good, and we feel happy and grateful without the thing. So there's a manifestation sweet spot. And this is another place where people get really caught up in it. We want it now, and we want it now. And when we don't have it now in the physical, we feel like we don't have it. And if I'll use this story, it's like if you go to the dealership and you're like, I want that car, and in this color, and all the bells and whistles. And then you sign the paper, you do everything, and then you go home, that car is yours, even though it's not in your driveway, because they have to order it and it's coming and all this kind of stuff. But you have the spot cleared in your garage, you're ready, you're excited, you feel amazing, you have the car, it's your car. But you don't see it physically in front of you. Doesn't mean that it's not there and yours and done. But we are so tied to the physical that we think it's not there in front of me, I don't have it. And therefore I feel like I don't have it. And therefore I'm annoyed and frustrated that I don't have it. And therefore we are in this lack feeling, and then we are attached to the having it now. And it keeps us out of that vibrational alignment, that feeling good place that it's mine. This energy is a very repellent energy. When you are needing something for happiness, whether it's a partner, whether it's money, whether it's whatever it is, as soon as you need it for you to be happy, peaceful, joyful, you repel it. And we've felt that from people before. If you have someone who just really wants to be your friend and they're like, need you, and they're always trying to get something from you, you're like, oh, like, get away from me. It's the same thing with stuff and money and everything. So that detachment, here's my intention. I feel amazing. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. Wow, look at all these beautiful things in my life. I'm moving towards that thing, but I don't need it to be happy. I'm happy now. I'm fulfilled now. I'm successful and secure now. But the intention is there. That's the manifestation sweet spot, where you know it's done. You know it's yours. You're happy and joyful where you are right now. You're expectant. Beautiful and exciting and wonderful things are happening for you every day. And then we see manifestation happen really fast. But as soon as you need that thing, as soon as you have to have it, then you really do keep it from you. So detachment is incredibly important.
So it sounds like the ego gets involved there, which might slow the process down a little bit. Marley has asked a question, Megan, and she's just asked, what are you most grateful about on your journey?
What am I most grateful about? I'm grateful for so many things. Honestly, for me, it is the connection. I love meeting and connecting with people. I love learning. And, but I can honestly go on for hours about all the stuff I'm grateful for. Like, I am a very blessed person, as we all are, if we choose to give our attention to those things. I'm a mom of 2 beautiful kids. Like, I've been able to travel and have amazing experiences, and I get to do what I love, and I'm happy. Like, that's really what it comes down to, is, are you happy? Do you love your life? Do you love what you're doing? And if not, make that change so that you feel that for yourself. But I'm most grateful for, I can't even say, I'm grateful for so much. I'm grateful for Gavin and this awesome interview. This has been great.
So, Megan, I'm grateful for you as well. So, thank you for being here today. So, let everybody know where they can get in touch with you.
Okay,
yeah,
so
what you're doing next.
For me, like, follow me on Instagram, Megan, MEGANS, Kamei, which is KAMEI, and I'm sure we can put that somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm going live all the time. I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Mindset, Meditation, and Manifestation Blueprint for Entrepreneurs. I put lots of stuff in there. But I'm actually going to be doing a free webinar this Wednesday with my dear friend and colleague, Bob Wakich. And we are going to be diving into that inspired action piece. How do I put this? So that what the webinar is called is Working with Your Higher Self. So
that sounds awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it's super cool. We have over 200 people registered. It keeps going up every day. So I know it's going to be a really awesome time. But when you can be like, okay, here's my intention, I'm taking inspired action, you can start asking questions of that higher self of you and being like, should I invest in this? Should I buy this house? Should I sell my house? Should I move to this new city? Should I date this person? Whatever, you can actually ask those questions and get answers and hear them using certain tools and stuff. So we're going to be teaching that on Wednesday. Awesome. The registration, but you got to register for that. So the link is in my bio. Do you have a way of like giving it now?
I will put a link after this, I guess, when we post the video.
Okay. And yeah, it'll be at Megan. But if you're on my Instagram, the link is in my profile thing.
Yes. Trying to see if I can type it into Instagram here.
Okay.
Can I do that? Megan S. Kamei, right? Kamei.
You got it.
Okay. Yeah, go follow Megan. That's going to be a really good event, I think, Megan. So I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yes, I'm so excited because the fascinating thing that happens when you teach, because energy is flowing to and through you and new ideas and thoughts are coming and flowing as you teach, is you learn as you teach. Not only that, I'm going to be teaching with Bob Wakich, who is incredible. He's an Akashic record reader. He's a healer for Joe Vitale. Like, he is one of Joe Vitale's healers. He spoke on stage with him. He's in some of his books. If you don't know who he is, he's a big name in self-development, one of the biggest. And Bob is incredible. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful webinar. Can't wait. So get signed up, get registered. We'd love to have you.
For sure. So I'll post a link to that on the videos here after as well. So Megan, thank you so much for being here today and sharing all that you know about manifestation and inspired action. Very important. And that detachment piece at the end too, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that's important. Thank you so much for having me, Gavin. And for those of my followers that are watching this live, follow Gavin. He goes live all the time, teaches a lot of awesome stuff. I know he's got awesome programs as well. And the more people and the more you want more people like this in your feed that are putting like good info into your life and like raising your vibration. So make sure you give Gavin a follow as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Great to see you. And we'll speak to you very soon. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Bye, everybody.
Awesome. Bye-bye.